All right, guys. I'm here to talk about what's just happened in the NFL game. I'm with my boy, Durrell. Durrell, it's a bit fizzy your end. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Wait. Yeah, it's going really strange. I don't know if it's your phone or mine. Can you see that it's blue, your end?
Wait, hang on. That's the way I have my background. Oh, you're talking about this?
Yeah. All right. Anyways, I don't know what's going on then. It's making a weird noise. Let me call you back. See what? Wait. Speak now. All right. Okay. I think that's better. All right. So, oh my word, Durrell, listen. 11 in the live, 4 likes. 11 and 4, like the Bengals record. Wow, Queen Elizabeth died with 114 days left in the year, and Cincinnati is obviously the Queen State. The Bills is the Queen City. This game gets suspended at 7-3. Queen Elizabeth was married to Prince Philip 73 years. Queen gets you 73. Brady's currently 7-3. Super Bowls. For any Brady lovers out there who think he's going to win the Super Bowl, it's funny I'm saying this as I have 15 in the live, 5 likes, and Brady in the books won Super Bowl 55 with a 15-5 record. Well, this guy who's gone down with a cardiac arrest, it's very interesting when he was born. It's March the 24th, which is the 83rd day of the year. Brady born 8-3. He can go in 8-3 in Super Bowls. World War II began 83 years ago. The word murder gets you 83 and all of that. So interesting, very interesting indeed. So I don't know, I can't say for a fact if this is all legit. It's hard to say when it's something so controversial. I know I've called out Ericsson multiple times because of his return, and I called his return. I even said he'd go to Man United, and to have a cardiac arrest, to be told by doctors you may never run again, to then be back playing for your nation and playing in the Premier League and then playing in the World Cup shortly after, makes me feel like some of these players truly are not having cardiac arrests. But when it comes to cardiac arrests, let's discuss what it is. So it's basically a sudden, unexpected loss of heart function, breathing, and consciousness. And it's becoming a common thing, it seems, these days. Cardiac arrest usually results from an electrical disturbance in the heart, which is very interesting. Again, I can't talk about what I want to talk about, but if you know what I want to say, you understand what I'm referring to here. So it's not the same as a heart attack. The main symptom is loss of consciousness, and you become completely unresponsive. So it requires that medical emergency, the CPR, and a lot of people survive cardiac arrests because it's basically your heart suddenly stops pumping blood around your body, and your brain gets starved of oxygen, but that can be recovered again. So people do die of cardiac arrest, but in my opinion, a 24-year-old elite athlete playing for the Bills should recover from it. Guys, what are all these signs? 31 in the live, 9 likes. Brady won Super Bowl 55, 31-9 against the Chiefs. I don't know what this is. I really hope it's not Brady, but this is disturbing. So I'll read the comments and I'm going to speak to my boy Durrell, because if I didn't know about this. I was out having sushi and a cheeky donut, and then Durrell called me and told me that player's gone down, cardiac arrest. Of course, he wears number 3. Super Bowl 56 was decided by 3 points. 6 out of the last 7 playoff games in the NFL were decided by 3 points. So, hey, Sherry, how you doing? Raul, Dam 515. Agent D thinks this is WWE. You've got Toby swinging in. People saying jibber jabber, exactly. So, Durrell, you wasn't watching this. You just came across it on Twitter, yeah? Because you don't watch sports. You're not interested in them.
Yeah, I was on a was like, yo, Damar Hamlin went down, and I'm thinking like, man, maybe he's talking about Damar DeRozan because the basketball all game, and he's just getting leveled all game, and nobody called anything. I'm like, let me Twitterverse this. Bam, right there.
If it was Damar DeRozan, it'd probably be a bigger deal because he's one of the top stars in the NBA. I've never heard of this guy. Oh, yeah, it'd be so much bigger deal if it was like a real top star, if this was a quarterback going down. Again, you've got a lot of these players in the NFL, they have bit part roles, just like a movie, innit, Darrell? You've got your superstars, you've got your 2 or 3 main stars in the movie, and then you've got a lot of them support in the background, and that's how it seems to be in the NFL. They have their role, like The Rock said from WWE, know your role, jabroni. That's what he would always say, know your role, jabroni. And there's a lot of them that they just have these small part roles, and then you have the stars. That's why the NFL is called the quarterback league, isn't it? They call it the quarterback league.
You have to remember, you gotta make sure you give your stars the sugar pill, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
The placebo. Oh, there we go. Then you got placebo.
Yeah, if all of them had like a similar value, it wouldn't have that prestige to it, would it? If they all had a similar value, they have to have stars. There needs to be stars in these teams, and this guy wasn't a star. Clearly an incredible athlete. They are.
6th-round pick.
Yes, yeah, 6th round. Where's number 3? It's like, by the way, this guy was born 24-3. And the Bills opened the NFL season, didn't they? They beat the Rams. So remember coding it. And the NFL season began 9-9. We know 9 times 11 is 99. But 9-9, 2022, 3 months and 24 days before this game. And your boy who's gone down with a cardiac arrest, Damar Hamlin, was born on that date. He was literally born March the 24th, and he goes down with a cardiac arrest 3 months and 24 days after the Bills opened the season. Again,
he was just go get you though. He was picked 212th pick.
212? That's insane because Super Bowl 57's on 212. So you've got this Bills player who I've just found out now from my boy Darrell. This is the guy who sends super chats. He's just a sweetheart, incredibly intelligent. He's just told me that this Hamlin was drafted 212th pick and Super Bowl 57's 212. That is very interesting. It also leaves 322 days left in the year that day. Skull and Bones, 322. I know that because Super Bowl 56 was on 213 with 321 days left in the year. So are they trapping people in the world of coding professional sports thinking it's the Bills because all the numbers are saying that, but then there's Brady numbers. But the 99's important because Prince Philip died at age 99 on the 99th day of the year, and he was married to Queen Elizabeth 73 years. And I've told you the score's 7-3. Buffalo is the Queen City. Cincinnati is the Queen State. And it's not a coincidence, all this stuff with the Queen who connects to Revelation. And I did say this year, and I really hope that I'm wrong. I truly hope that I'm wrong, that I think there's going to be mass death this year. Mass death. That we've never come across before. And I don't mean to put it down on you, but I always speak my mind. And if they're starting off this year with a elite athlete going down, and again, I don't know who this person is, whether it's genuine, whether it's not, I hope it comes out that this guy survives. I'm almost certain they won't restart the game. It would be crazy to restart the game. But then again, they restarted a main event in WWE when supposedly Owen Hart died. But again, I don't think Owen Hart died. But I will never be able to prove that. So it's easy to just accept. It's very easy to just accept what you're told, especially when it comes to things like this. We don't know. The only people that truly know if that guy's had a cardiac arrest is honestly at this point the doctors, if they're honest. He won't be aware. He's unconscious. The players are just going to be in shock. The only people that are truly aware is the medical team. And again, can we really trust the medical team that work at these staged events? I just don't know anymore. It's hard. because all this cardiac arrest is connected to the opening game between the Bills and the Rams. And 9-9 leaves 113 days left in the year, which is the huge number of deception with this knowledge. Okay, huge. Dishonesty 113, mainstream 113, not factual 113. Like all the words that connect to deception come to 113. That's why I was like, did Kobe Bryant really die when his name's 113 and he was drafted round 1, pick 13, and his opening game in the NBA was November the 3rd, 11-3, and he has a poem called Dear Basketball that gets you 113. It's like, it seems to be a number connected to deception. That's why coronavirus was declared a global pandemic on the 11th of March, which is basically 113. So, again, I don't know what's going on here. There'll be probably people in my community right now, which is tragic, saying, are they going to pay me? If I had the Bengals, will they pay out? No. You get your money back when a game suspends like this. They just pay you back. So people will be asking me that, like, well, I got the guy for the first touchdown and they're still going to pay me. I don't know, and you shouldn't really be worrying about that, to be honest. So I'm not in shock with this. I'm not like sad and overwhelmed by it all. It's just it's very questionable. A 24-year-old going down with a cardiac arrest. Yeah.
Hold up. I got something else for you. Are you ready?
Go on.
What does the number 71 represent to you?
71, coronavirus was declared a global pandemic the 71st day of 2020. The word Catholic gets you 71. 71's the 20th prime. That's why coronavirus was declared a pandemic 71st day of 2020.
Are you ready?
I always.
So the Cleveland Cavaliers player Donovan the Spider Mitchell just scored 71 points to beat the Chicago Bulls in overtime.
Donovan Mitchell just scored 71 points.
Yep.
That guy has every number with Kobe Bryant possible. I've coded Donovan Mitchell, practically always could call exactly how many points he would get, pretty much. I always got him in player props. So this guy was born, Donovan Mitchell, 9'7". Wow, round 1, pick 13, just like Kobe, mate.
Yep.
So he's just dropped, and he wears number 45, doesn't he? Ritual. He wears 45 for the Cavs, which is the 9th triangular number, which is the number of completion. But again, Donovan Mitchell, he was born 1996, which is the year Kobe Bryant was drafted. A lot of these top stars in the NFL, if you do your work, Donovan Mitchell is so synced up with Kobe. Steph Curry's synced up with Kobe. You've got your boy, Jason Tatum, massively synced with Kobe. It's crazy that they all have these similar numbers that all sync up with Kobe Bryant. And Donovan Mitchell's another example. I could actually do a whole video about the connections with these top stars. And so this number 3 went down, for the Bills. And I'm almost certain Donovan Mitchell's a 3-time NBA All-Star.
Oh, God.
So I do believe that some of these guys.
I got another one for you. Oh, God.
Go on.
What does the number 43 represent for you?
43, again, Brady won Super Bowl 55 at 43, Super Bowl 56 at 43 points. In Gematria, Jesus Christ is 43. Jesus Christ, we're told, was crucified or died on April the 3rd, 4-3. So 43 is the 14th prime. Pope Francis born with 14 days left in the year. There was a lot of 14s in this game tonight, or possible 14s. But what have you found with 43?
The Kings scored 43 points tonight.
The Kings?
The King. The only.
Oh, LeBron.
Yep. Scored 43 tonight.
No, like LeBron James is 38. And so he just scored 47 recently, and now he's getting 43.
Yep, he scored 43 points tonight.
Right, and the Lakers won by 6. The Lakers won by 6, and this guy was drafted 6th round, wasn't he?
Yep, he was drafted 6th round by the team that Kobe was drafted by.
The Hornets. Wow. And wait, I've just thought about this. He's 24 and he was drafted round 6, yeah? In total, 246 people died on the flights with 9/11. 246. 246 is when modern-day Freemasonry was founded, the 24th of June. It's Lionel Messi's birthday. 24/6 is big. 24 times 6 is 144. Like there's 1,440 minutes in a day. So, wow, fireworks are going off outside. So somebody's saying the game's being cancelled. I told you it would be practically impossible to restart it. This probably means he's dead. I think they're going to pronounce him dead. If they pronounce him dead tomorrow on 1-3, if you read my World Cup book, how number 13 is so connected to Nimrod and Judas, if he goes on 1-3. So how's this Donovan Mitchell getting 71 points? So somebody said there was a 20-point comeback. That's not a shock in the NBA. I said if you bet in play. Wait, mate, Cleveland just got their 24th win of the season. And this guy was 24, born on the 24th day of the month. And Cleveland just got their 24th win, you said. And they beat the Bulls. The Bulls connected to Satan, the bull, the beast. And basically, Chicago's just dropped to 16-21. That's the 257th prime. 257's the 55th prime, like Satan. 257's really big. I think the Lakers just got that record. Lakers just got the 16-21 as well. So they're both Los Angeles Lakers in gematria is 257. So, guys, all these sports are synced up and they're all ritualistic. Like Cleveland get 145 points. The word Catholic gets you 145. I had an amazing conversation with Script Unveiled today. I'm not going to discuss what we said, but he told me a personal sync in his life with 145. Durell, are you watching me? Because I think it. Yeah.
I don't see you, but I'm watching you, but like you're like to the far left.
Yeah, like it's a bit. I don't know what's going on because I can hear some like. Sounds like a horror movie. Like there's a demon with you. It's probably the Baphomet you're probably hanging out with, knowing you. But I can hear it's like, So I think you must be watching me. I don't know.
That ain't me, my guy. I don't know what demons is.
So Joseph's saying it's 81 days after his birthday, and we know. Hey, you're watching me. Turn me off. That's what it is. That's what it is. I knew it was that. So. Oh, my word. It was 9 months and 9 days after his birthday. 9 months and 9 days after his birthday.
Whoa, wait a minute. What? What's this?
What's going on, brother?
What the?
Hey, language. Call me back.
I didn't cut. I said, wait a minute.
All right. Anyway, I'll continue.
I got. Oh my gosh. Jeremy Renner just came out of surgery for a blunt chest trauma.
Who?
Jeremy Renner. He played Hawkeye in the Marvel movie. He was also Ben Affleck's friend and Touch the
Oh, I can't stand Ben Affleck.
Well, apparently this guy just had his chest crushed in a snow plowing accident.
Right now?
No. This happened today. Earlier today. Jeremy Renner critical but stable conditions after snowplow accident.
It's hard to know what to believe.
I only found that out because once again, I was on Twitter and this person was talking about like all the bad things that happened so far. And I'm like, Jeremy Renner, I'm like, why did things sound familiar? And I was like, oh. I'm like, well,
yeah.
Down too.
Mate, they're dropping like flies. So Wait, Durrell, you're listening to me. You've got me playing, haven't you? Turn me off.
I don't have you playing.
Well, when I speak, I'm hearing myself.
How?
Because I speak and then I hear it in the background.
You do know I'm listening to my phone. I'm not even watching you through YouTube.
I'm going to call you back, all right? See if it's any better.
Yeah, that might work.
Oh, wow. I've just seen it's 2016. That's when Kobe Bryant retired. All right. Anyway, sorry. I think I'm obsessed. All right. Bye. Let me just bash this out before I call Durrell back. I've just told you how this syncs up with game 1 of the NFL season, which began on 9-9 involving the Bills. And this Bills player has just gone down 9 months and 9 days after his 24th birthday. And like Joseph said, 81 days before his birthday. That's a big ritual number. 81 days is 11 weeks and 4 days. And the Bengals are currently 11-4 for the season. I've told you Queen Elizabeth died with 114 days left in the year. 11 times 4 is 44, which is everywhere. And he has his cardiac exactly 40 weeks and 4 days after his birthday. This shouldn't be happening. Simply put, an elite athlete should not be going down with a cardiac arrest. I'm not having it. Whether it's legit or not, this can't be happening. People are saying it's a sacrifice. Again, for who? It would be pretty blatant at this point. I think if the Bulls win it with the Buffalo shooting, with this guy having a cardiac arrest, especially if he dies, with the date durations, this could be something that kills the Bills, in my opinion. Literally kills the Bills, but I don't know. It's not about that. So the game's postponed. It had to be. As soon as he told me, I was like, this game is going to be postponed. He's like, I don't know. No, it's going to be postponed. Has to be. They want everyone talking about it. Guys, don't let this bring your frequency down. See how calm I am. Don't let it overwhelm you and panic you. They want that. Remember, it's all energy, whether it happened or not. The universe that we live in this realm needs our energy. So don't get all overwhelmed about it. We can say he went down because he's had this. We don't know. We don't even know if he's had that. So all we can do at this point is somewhat question it and discuss the numbers behind it that are pretty blatant with this guy. It's wild. It really is wild. So I'm going to try calling back. So Durrell is talking about this Ken Block. Wait, he's not called Ken Block. Is he called Ken Block and that this guy was a defender who made a defensive block? No, you're joking. Is this guy's last name Block? I don't know because I don't watch TV or movies. Ken Block is a rally driver. So his name's Ken Block, killed in snowmobile crash. And this Bills player made a block in this game and has a cardiac arrest. It's stuff like that that make me think either this reality we're living in is just ridiculously coded or they're mocking us. I think a lot of these people don't die. I've said that. So many of them don't die. Their character dies. So this guy is car number 43. Yeah, I saw that 2 months and 22 days before his birthday. 222. Order out of chaos. Isn't it weird this stuff is happening as the current TikTok trend is prank announcing celebrity deaths to your family friends? Didn't know that, but I know every day on Twitter, sudden death, hashtag sudden death, trends practically every day, sudden death. And people are not talking about it. They're not questioning it. They're just no interest in it. But when did you ever go on Twitter and see sudden death trending practically every day? So, yeah, I didn't know. I don't have anything to do with TikTok. I can't stand the app. I don't have one. I know I could increase my following dramatically by having one. I'm not having a TikTok. I just can't stand it, to be honest with you. So, yeah, we're living in this coded reality, but it's hard to know what to believe in it. If the world we're living in is one grand illusion, it's like, what actually is real? What is real? Let me try and call Darrell back. See if it's not fizzing. Just another actor taken off the stage. That makes sense. Darrell?
Yo.
So did you hear what I said about Ken Block? Like this guy was a defender who makes blocks for a living.
No. So Ken Block was the rally driver.
Yeah, so he died today in a... And did you see that he was formerly part of the Monster World Rally Team, and Monster in Hebrew is 666?
I did not see that. I literally just popped that on. Oh, shoot. I know what to think about this one.
Monster, like the beast.
Well, yeah, that drink.
And why do you think they sponsor the Octagon, like sponsor UFC, which is demonic? Well, you got Monster. We all know what monsters are. That it's not something you want to be around. And you got Red Bull that gives you wings, which is all about Lucifer. And these demons need our energy. Why do you think they sell them as energy drinks? Because that's what they are. These demons need our energy. They feed off our energy. They feed off fear. That's why we live in a world where they promote fear. They need it. They need it. They're mocking us with those energy drinks. So, yeah, Hamlin's number 3. Somebody made a good point. Very simple point, but a good one. Sometimes the best ones. So Hamlin's number 3, and the Bills have 3 points, didn't they? When this has happened.
No, I didn't check that out.
Yeah, well, it was 7-3. And what's funny is 7 times 3 is 21, yeah? 73 is the 21st prime number, and today it's gone down on 2-1. It's gone down on 2-1, the 2nd of January. And I've told you Brady, which I predicted before the season began, became 7-3 in the 21st year of the 21st century when he won Super Bowl 55. The 73 and 21 is enormous. It's why Queen Elizabeth was married 73 years and she got married at age 21. I could go on all day with 73 and 21. But 7 times 3 is 21 as well. They're super synced. 7 and 3 is super synced with 21. And 2 plus 1 is 3 as well, like the date. So, yeah. So who else were you? So who's gone today? This guy looks like he's going out. You've got the rally driver just in a snow accident. And who's the actor? So what are they doing with snow? What's the ritual with snow? But they keep talking about a dark winter.
It's not that. No, it's not that. It's the injury. Both of them are chest injuries.
Ah, chest.
Yep.
And this guy died at 55. I'm telling you about Super Bowl 55. The rally driver was 55. And he, sponsored by Monster, told you Satan gets you 55. So let's see what it's saying. Mr. Block was riding with a group, but he was alone when the accident occurred, the sheriff's office said in a statement. We are saddened to hear of the loss of Kenneth, and our hearts are with his family and friends so deeply affected. I would say, again, I think the majority of them don't die. So when they're saying this about him, Ken was a visionary, a pioneer, and an icon, and most importantly, a father and husband. It just sounds like that he sat there probably reading that, having a good laugh to himself. I just believe so many of these people, so many of them are not going out. I did a video about David Bowie. That guy never died. He mocked us. Got interviewed the day after pretending to be the record producer, talking about Bowie. Well, David Bowie was one of the greatest of his generation. He was a real trailblazer. You could say a part of me died when Bowie died, and he's laughing. Why are you laughing about it, you scumbag? Because you were David Bowie. Guys, everyone has to watch that interview. Everyone has to watch that interview. Tupac never died. Got shot 4 times in the middle of Vegas and nobody caught it. I've been to Vegas multiple times. There's cameras every street corner. It's nonsense. Elvis Presley died whilst taking a shit. Give me a break. Give me a break. So, Ken Block was born November the 21st. Ken Block. Mate, you've got to laugh at that name without being annoying with what's just happened. Ken Block. What?
I mean, there's a lot of names, man.
Mate, he died 6 weeks. He died exactly 6 weeks after his birthday, and obviously 6 weeks is 42 days. 6 times 7 is 42. The beast reigns for 42 months. This guy, who literally was sponsored by Monster, has just died 42 days after his birthday, which is the number I rave on about all the time. It's insane how often I bring up 42. I mention what that number means in my World Cup book. Now people are starting to see it more because they understand it. That's why I wanted to make a point of what the numbers meant.
Wait, what did Jackie Robinson 42?
Jackie Robinson 42, and then the guy who played him,
Chadwick Boseman.
yeah, he died at 42 and they changed his age to 43. Like this rally driver.
No, he was 43. They changed his age to 42.
No. They changed it to 43 because people like me were figuring it out. You've got a guy who starred in the movie 42, shortly dying after starring as Jackie Robinson, Mr. 42. They said he died at 42 and then told us he was 43 because too many people were. Let me look. I'm almost certain with Chadwick Boseman, they definitely changed his age because I looked heavily into him. This guy never went as well. So suddenly out of nowhere. So the guy was born November the 29th, 1976. And they told us now, died 43. They originally said 42. They changed it. I've seen them do this multiple times. So 2016, he supposedly was diagnosed with colon cancer, CC for your 33. But he kept his condition private. And he was continuing to act until his death in 2020. So, again, colon cancer, he had stage 4. And he's going out and performing on a set where I know because I've been in Hollywood, I know producers and all of that. They go all day, these actors. And he just decides to continue acting, doesn't tell anyone about it. And then he just drops dead. The guy who always would do like the skull and bones, didn't he? What is it, man? What was it? Wakanda forever? Does he say? And he puts up the skull and bones sign. Well, that 42 movie I know was released 2013. That's when Francis became the Pope. That sick Satanist.
I have a certain disdain for that number regardless. It's personal.
Oh no, I know when it comes to gematria, the 42 is a horrific number for I don't like saying it, but black people, it is, like gematria-wise. But it's way bigger than that. The 42 is not just about that. This community likes to just say that, which it is technically, but it's because the beast reigns for 42 months, mate.
Well, mainly because you know what Jackie Robinson is, right? Like what he's famous for.
Well, he was an iconic baseball player for the Dodgers and basically a trailblazer for the African-American community. Where he became the first black star in the MLB, didn't he? And then we had a lot more athletes follow on. Now, if you look in baseball, it's not predominantly a white man's sport. There's a lot of incredible black athletes in baseball, a lot of them. So he was a trailblazer, but Jackie, which is blatantly a female's name, by the way. I've got a lot of girlfriends, well, friends who are girls called Jackie. Just another invert, deceiver. Anytime they make a movie about these people, you know that they're inverted. But absolutely. I'll do a video and show you with his anatomy.
Well, the thing about Jackie Robinson, he was the staple for the downfall of pro and black baseball.
Go on. All right, break it down for me. I didn't know that. Go on. Yeah, I remember the Negro Leagues, that had probably more talent than the Major League.
So, right. So, I'll break it down into the big, way bigger picture that goes into that. So, there's a book called The $6 Million Slave, right?
Yeah.
And you break it down, it goes even deeper because it's about athletics. Like, the big thing now is, the NIL deals for college athletes. You go to a school to pay you, right? Kids coming out of high school get a couple $1 million to play football and basketball for like a year.
Yeah, to set the family up and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, well, the kids will get paid regardless of the table. So I hate to make it sound this way.
Just say what you think, mate. That's all I respect from people. Say what you think.
I think so basically, the country was very, very. The systematic oppression of a certain group of people was based off of athletics. HBCUs.
Okay.
Historically black colleges, right? What people don't realize is during that time period, they were created because they couldn't go to predominantly white schools, right?
No, they couldn't because
So,
yeah.
right. So we're talking athletics, right? So if you go back there and you look at the draft, the NBA, the NFL, most of those college athletes are coming from HBCUs, right?
That's true, yeah.
So of course, with athletics, comes with financial responsibilities, right?
Yeah.
Right. So all these HBCUs are getting these millions of dollars, from sponsors, bowl games. Anybody wants to see them, right?
Yeah.
So the question would be, how come those HBCU schools today don't have that money, that power, or anything today like they did in the past?
It's a great point.
What shifted? What changed everything? Is when a certain college player, what was it, USC? I forgot. It was, anyway, one college said, hey, let's grab a black athlete. Boom. The HBCU sought education. They put all their money in, schooling and education.
Yeah.
That's why back then they had the best schools. They could compete with USC, Texas, Nebraska. Education, the best, right?
Okay.
So one day they said, well, this is easy. Hey, Jonathan, we see you're from Raw Dog Hide, Arkansas. Rundown house. You have all these HBCUs. Come to my school. And he's looking like, why? Oh, is that an indoor pool? Yeah. Is that a treadmill? Yeah.
Yeah. Taken in by the materialism.
Yeah, so they're entrapped with athletics. So those schools said, hey, we'll always have the education. But if we can make our athletic facilities better, it's more enticing. Why would I go to a school for athletics, or I have to drink water out of a bin or a water hose when I have a school over here that?
Yeah, they made it prestigious, didn't they? Yeah.
So they spent their money in athletics. The HBCU spent their money in education. So the athletes stopped going through the education and they went to the sports world because that's what they're going for.
Yeah, and exactly. And
now this shift, the whole shift is now education second, athletics first. Hence why this whole big thing with Deion Sanders was a school, you just give them $22 million in revenue. Biggest in their history, $22 million in one football season. Well, sorry, $22 million in 3 years, and pretty much for that city, like what LeBron did for Cleveland. He was a focal point for finances. So if you could take those athletes out those areas and you put them in your area of school with athletics, you can get the money. With the money, your education starts going down, can continue going where it is, or start dropping because you no longer have that revenue going to your school.
It's perfect. It's a perfect system how they do that. The education system's declining every year globally, other than maybe Finland and like nations in Scandinavia. It's declining. I know it's really declining in England as well. And then just have you focus all your energy on professional sports, which when you actually break professional sports down, it's pathetic how much people love them. And it's so weird me saying that, being who I am or who I was. The amount of energy people give. Like I was out the other night with Kenya and there was some college football going on. I don't even know who it was, to be honest. I know it finished 42-41. Last second, the team missed a field goal where they could have won it.
Ohio State versus Georgia.
Okay, so I just saw the 42 again. The team that won had 42 points. And you see them zooming in on the fans. It looked to be around, I didn't count, I didn't look, about 70,000 capacity, a huge stadium. And I know, like myself, I've been to USC, I've seen the Coliseum, I've been to Michigan, I've seen how big that stadium is. I think that's actually the biggest stadium in the US. My friend Sam studies there, girls. I'm not going to say her full name, but she told me how it works. Like the whole day is like, it's a big 24-hour event going to one of those games. And it's just, it zoomed into the fans. So obviously, so who won it? Which were the team with 42 points? I have no interest in college football. Ohio State had 42. They won, yeah? So you had Ohio State take that lead really late in the game, right? So whole stadium, all their fans are going wild. The players are going wild. The coach is going wild. And the opponent's team are like crying, like hands covering the face. And then you think it's game over. I'm there with Kenya because we just walked into a bar. I didn't even know this game was going on. I said, can you just look at this? Like, she's, what is it? What is it? I'm like, look how long's left and look how close this game is. I said, watch this. That this other team are going to get in. I literally said, this other team's going to get in field goal position and miss. And she went, what's field goal position? I said, they're going to get up the field and they're going to put the ball in a position where it looks like they could make it, but it's not easy. She went, okay. And that's exactly what happened. So every time, like I remember I saw the quarterback for the opponent team that lost. He just out of nowhere made like a 15-yard run where it's like nobody was allowed to touch him. He just, like, you know what I mean? You've got a 1-point lead, like your season's on the line, and this quarterback, right at the end of the game where supposedly players are tired, is just jogging through and nobody touching him. And then it was Jam. I was like, okay, they'll probably just not get anywhere now, any more yards, or they gained a few more yards. And so as this was all going on, as they were slowly making their way up the field, you could now see the team that was winning, their fans now crying, from going from being ecstatic to thinking it was over to thinking, wait, are we about to lose? And then you see the fans for the other team going, oh my God, I thought we'd lost and now it looks like we're going to win. But what happened? The team that thought they'd won, then thought they might lose, won. So in the space of, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, that whole stadium had so many highs and lows, and that's what it's all about. It's not about who lifts that trophy. It's about taking our energy. If you gambled on that game, my word, if you gambled on that team that lost, well, no, if you gambled on that game, either team, you've almost had a freaking heart attack. You know what I mean? That's why I won't gamble. I know how good I am. I know how high my rate is, but I know what it can do. Even when you win, it can give you a 42-41 or these NBA games going to double overtime and you're like, geez, just finish, please, just finish. Give me that money. That's how I used to be. I was really confident it was going to hit, but it's like double overtime. Like, oh man, it's dragging it. And then timeout. And I'm just not in it. I really think it's toxic gambling. It truly is, but I had to go through the whole process of it. And I came out of it with a lot of money and I still gave it up. Couldn't imagine what I'd feel like if I lost money doing it. So do you know who I think of when I'm talking about like black athletes, like who really changed the game for black athletes? I think of Jesse Owens. I think of his name, James Cleveland, which is hilarious because that connects with your boy who just got 71 points. And LeBron, James Cleveland, Jesse Owens. No, it's not your boy, but that goes all the way back to the Olympics where they used I think it was the 1936 Olympics, which is the year Francis was born, to push agendas. And Jesse Owens is, when you talk about iconic black athletes, they always rave on about Jesse Owens, Jackie Robinson, Tiger Woods. Well, no, but he won 4 gold medals at that Olympic Games. And there was the Olympic Games in Berlin where a lot of nations refused. Yeah, a lot of nations refused to participate because of Hitler's regime and this, that, and the other. Yeah, but again, who gives a shit about some guy running 100 meters? Who cares? Or 200 meters? Why are we bothered about that?
Black America did.
No, well, no, I'm not on about him. I'm on about in general. Why do we give a shit, mate? What do you think it is? Is it the deep programming? Is it the ego? Is it money? Why do we care? It's got to be a social identity when it comes to Olympics and World Cups. Why do we give a shit how far somebody can throw a javelin? Who gives a shit? Like, what, the sports? It goes all the way back to the gladiators, doesn't it? Colosseum, I would say. It's hard to say who created sports.
Well, remember
Bread and circus. Bread and circus. Basically, it is, and we have that now at the highest level. It's just better presented, I would say, what we have with professional sports. Somebody's asking me if I think the Warriors will win. I don't know.
Warriors will win what?
An NBA game today. I don't know. I don't care.
Right now, Klay Thompson is literally on fire.
Well, do you know Klay? I just did a video about Klay and the number 11. Klay Thompson started the season like he'd never played basketball before. And I told everyone, when they do that with a player like Klay, that means he's soon going to be on fire. And they do it. Klay Thompson was having a shocker. They were saying at the beginning of the season, his shooting percentage was the lowest in the league. And then suddenly he can start hitting threes with his eyes closed. I can't stand when Steph Curry closes his eyes and hits the three. Or he shoots it and looks away from mid-court. It's like, it's such mockery. Number one, if it's actually legit, it's massive disrespect to the opponent if it was legit and he was that good. But they're taking these shots, like these days closing their eyes and then throwing up the sixes. It's just disturbingly ritualistic.
So they're saying, wait, I don't remember what your stance was on it. I don't really so do you believe you do what do you call that thing? The magnet balls?
Well, yeah, they've admitted that now, that there's magnets in the balls. They've admitted that, and they justify it with the technology, especially with like VAR. So we need it to see if the ball's over the line, or we need it for this, that, and the other. So they justify. But it's more than technology, mate. It's more than technology. They want us to believe it's just that now.
Well, what throws me off is it's like the evidence is there. Like, I forgot, somebody tried to sue some professional team. And the team's like, no. Just like you said, WWE, WWF, we're just entertainment. They legally can change whatever they want.
So can the NFL.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm in sports. Yeah, they can change whatever they want because it's entertainment.
Yeah, no, it's sports entertainment, and the NFL literally went through a lawsuit where they can literally legally determine the outcome of the game, and it's online. The document's online. I've shared it. Yet people still say I'm a conspiracy theorist. There's an online document. I think you can even watch on YouTube part of the case, the court case, mate. What about this guy? We've got I can't pronounce it. Well, I'll try to pronounce his name. Uche Eneneri, former Jaguars offensive lineman, dead at 38 today. Number 77, the number I rave on about. He's dropped dead at 38, which everyone's going to say, death gets you 38, murder 38, RIP 38, and all of that stuff. But let's forget about that for a second and say we've got another elite athlete, younger than 40, dropping dead. And nobody, well, no, I'm not going to say nobody cares, but I often feel with, wow, he was drafted 149th pick, skull and bones, 35th prime, Satan, Baphomet, no offense. So, born in 1984, which always makes me think of George Orwell, his book, 1984. No, I do actually really do like that book, even though it was just basically foreshadowing where the world is right now. So, isn't it funny how you've got coroners? You know coroners when it comes to death? How similar does coroner sound to corona as well? A coroner. It's very similar because, like, when it comes to a coroner, you basically, is it an official who investigates like sudden or suspicious death, isn't it? And coroner sounds so similar to corona. It sounds so similar to corona. And he wore number 77, and he died of a possible heart attack, mate. It's all I've been saying. You're going to see loads of people drop dead young of heart attacks, and they're foreshadowing it now. Whether they did or not, they're telling us to expect it. So if someone in your family drops dead at 38, it's going to be, yeah, well, that NFL player went at 24 and he went at 38. It's weird, isn't it? I wonder what it is. Just not putting two and two together because they're in denial. But again, guys, I'm not often wrong. And when I say stuff, I don't say it to scare people. Enjoy every single day because you don't know what's around the corner with this. This is biblical. I've said it. Me and Durrell differ a lot when it comes to the biblical stuff, I would say. But the fourth horseman is death. Yeah, the fourth horseman is death. And he has permission from God to take out 25% of the earth. That's the fourth horseman. So you've got the original horse, which is the white horse, which is the Antichrist. Then you've got the second horse is war, which is red. Famine, which is the third horse. And then the fourth horse is green, which again.
The green horse. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the green deal.
You got green, the way they push green with climate change and.
Before I forget, what does 1194 mean to you?
1194.
Yeah.
I can't say what 1194 means to me. I don't know. I don't see a prime with it. 1194, 105, nothing. What's 1194? I'm not even going to pretend. I know.
So in 1194, Richard the Lionhearted formalized the coroner system. So the very first coroner was in 1194.
What was his name?
I'm guessing Richard the Lion. Hang on.
Lion.
History of the corner system. The system dates back to as far as 910 with Alfred the Great, Henry II, blah, 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 blah. There we go. Well, okay. It says the first American coroner was Thomas Baldred of St. Mary's, Maryland. 1637, January 29th. That's America now. But from the system, it was 910, as far back as 910. But the system was created in 1194 by Richard the Lionheart.
Lionheart.
Yep, Richard the Lionheart.
Mate, there's so much lion symbolism. That's why Leo Messi won the World Cup. Leo the lion. Jesus is the Lion of Judah.
He was Richard the First. He was Richard the First, the King of England.
King of England.
Richard the First. Also ruled as the Duke of Normandy, the Quentin and Gascony, Lord of Cyprus, and the Count of. Well, anyway, at the end of the day, freaking Normandy and England. Wow.
It's so deep, this, isn't it?
Oh my God. I don't even want to. Okay, I'm not going through his family tree.
No, don't go through the family tree. The issue, you don't know how genuine it is when it comes to their family trees. A lot of these people, we don't even know if they existed either.
Well, Richard the First was a very interesting person, though.
I know, we can look into them historically and what they represent and their bloodline and the date of birth, what they tell us. But again, they lied about Chadwick Boseman's age. So what makes us want to believe everything they tell us about people that lived 200 years ago and these kings and queens and all of that? We don't know how far back it goes with history. I think we have little debates with history as well. I don't buy into half of the stuff we're told. I just go off what they give us. And I try and call it out more often than not when it comes to historical events. But all we can talk about now is that there's all these young athletes globally dropping dead. Yeah, we got the lion and the heart. The lion and the heart. And think about what do you think of when you think of the lion in the Wizard of Oz? Yeah, it's Cowardly Lion, isn't it? Well, lions are supposed to be the king of the beasts, aren't they? King of the jungle. And then they portray the lion in the Wizard of Oz as a cowardly lion who believes that his fear makes him inadequate. And I tell people, you can't tell people not to express fear. But I've said now, I don't fear anything or anyone. I don't fear death. I think that's the Holy Spirit within me. And I think a lot of cowards, you can be a nice person and be a coward, can't you? Definitely. You can be a very nice person, generous person, and still be a coward. And I think, unfortunately, in the world, we're full of cowards who live in fear. Like, most people live in fear. And I refuse to do that. So how many like genuine lions do you have in the world who don't have fear? There ain't many. Most of them are literally like the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz, in my opinion. I just see that. That movie is definitely something I have to decode from start to finish. Well, the Lion King I've looked into. Again, Lion, King, Jesus was the Lion of Judah, the King of Kings. Throw them together. There's a guy called 6079 Smith who's got these amazing finds with the Lion King. And that's all about the circle of life, isn't it?
Oh, yes, the circle of life.
The circle of life. And when you actually break down the Lion King, it's pretty depressing, isn't it? You don't realize as a child, but it's pretty intense when you actually break down the Lion King. Have you watched it? Well, you've got basically the parent died, didn't it? The parent died within it. So it's one of those movies, The Lion King, where there's a lot of emotional investment in the parent characters. And when did you last watch it? So you got Simba, haven't you? Who like looked up to his father so much. Mufasa knows that his time's almost up, innit? You know the story of Mufasa. He thought he was going to become the king, but then Simba was born and he became the king and basically took his role. So then Mufasa became just. Was that Scar? Yes, Scar. All right, Scar was going to become the king, wasn't he? But then you had Simba. Who was going to become king then?
No. Well, there wasn't a paradigm for that. Like, Mufasa wasn't even young. Like, nobody, young. He wasn't old. Like, nobody was on deathbed.
No, I'm almost sure, though, with the birth of Simba, that took away the possibility for Scar to become the king. If he was never born, he was next in line. But then because Simba was born, Simba ascended to the throne when his father died.
He would be the next. Yeah, that's why I said I'm like, it's just like the whole thing in royal family or anything. You have a brother, but if a boy is born, they're literally next in line. That's why he did the plan to kill both of them.
Exactly, but it was Mufasa who died, wasn't he? Who was the father of Simba.
Correct.
But people were heavily invested in Mufasa because he was the principal character at the beginning of the movie. So they established the connection with the audience with Mufasa, and then seeing him go was like devastating for the audience because he wasn't just like this parent figure. He was the main guy, wasn't he? He was the leader. And it's rare that these main characters die off, to be honest.
You did watch the second one, correct?
Yeah, I didn't pay much attention. But again, I'm going off years ago with The Lion King. But
So the second one, so it's interesting that you said that because as I went by animals, So you can have one male and a pride, that runs everything. That'd be Mufasa, right?
Isn't it funny how it's a pride of lions when it comes to that, and then you've got Pride Month with the LGBTQ community?
Well, guess what? They just like can't talk about them. Can't talk about
You can, but pride's also a deadly sin as well.
It's one of the seven.
It's one of the seven, baby. It's one of the seven. One of the biggest.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You might be on something.
What, somebody else died now?
Oh, no. I said you might be. What's the seven deadly sins? Do you know the seven deadly sins by heart?
I can't tell you them all, but I know there's obviously pride, there's gluttony, there's greed, wrath, there's envy, which is one of the worst, especially in this current generation. Lust. What's the animal that's really lazy? It's sloth, isn't it?
Sloth. Okay, it's lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride.
I think that's what I said. Yeah. Can I just ask you, cut you off for a second? I know it's opinion. Out of those seven, which do you think is the so-called deadliest? I think it might be pride or maybe greed. This is tough. Guys, in the chat, I don't like doing this. It makes me feel like some sort of celebrity. In the chat, which do you think of the seven deadly sins is the deadliest, or do you see them as equal? Pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. Lust, I just did a post about this on my Twitter. You're not on Twitter, are you, Durrell? Are you on Twitter? Oh, my bad. Yeah. I didn't even know that. I'll have to follow you then. I don't know what your name is on it, but I typed this. My bad for another 7. That was a. So sometimes I just randomly type stuff. If something comes to my head, I have to often express it by typing it, and then I share it if I feel like it's going to have an impact on people. So it's weird we're talking about the deadly sins because lust is one of them. And we've all given into lust. I think I still can at times. It's not, people always think about lust sexually, but it's not. It's lust and desire for things that you don't really need or you're almost obsessed by. So I said, lust, tell me if you agree with this, because what I love about you is how honest you are. If you don't agree with this, you'll go, I like that about you. So lust will make a strong man weak. Don't let lust or emotions cloud your judgment. Having emotions, I'll read it and then you can let me know. Having emotions is not a weakness, but nowhere in the Bible are we encouraged to listen to our emotions. Feelings are confusing and deceptive. Simply put, don't be ruled by your feelings. They've brought us up to believe, listen to your heart. And I think it's one of the most naive things you can do is make decisions purely through your emotions. Not your mind, your emotions. It's very different to a clear state, conscious mind. Making decisions with your emotions. Lust is an emotional act, and lust ends many relationships. It leads to so many regrets for people, lust. Do you agree with everything I've said there or not?
Yeah.
So out of these 7 deadly sins, I'm sure you've got them in front of you. Which one do you believe is the so-called deadliest or the one that has the most impact on the world? Don't tell me. Well, it's different for every person, just in general. Lust, I'm thinking it may be lust at this point. Lust, materialism probably connects to lust, although that connects to greed as well, and pride. They're very synced, aren't they, the deadly sins? They're very connected, to be fair. So people say pride. A lot of people saying pride. Somebody's saying here now, I don't know what this is all about. This is not a drill. Turn off your stream now. This is coming from a warning bot. I've never had this guy in my life before. Some warning bot, literally calling himself a bot. But what's he going on about? This is not a drill. Turn off your stream now. I ain't turning off my stream for anybody, especially warning bot. I don't know who this guy is. So anyway, what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Durrell? Can you pick one, or is it too hard to say?
They're too interconnected because everything ends up going into something else.
It's all interconnected for sure, isn't it, with the 7 deadly sins? Similar with the 7 virtues. There's the 7 virtues of life as well. But most people choose the sins because why? It's they're pleasurable, aren't they? They appeal to our flesh. Of course they do. Right, think about the 7 virtues. I know you've got humility. It's hard to have that when you're obsessed with yourself or with ego or with pride. Patience. We're in a generation where people want instant gratification, don't they? Not many people are patient anymore. It's like, give me, and give me it now. That's gone. Kindness is disappearing. It's almost seen as weakness. And if people are kind, it's often because they want something back in return.
Faith, hope, charity, fortitude, justice, temperance, and prudence.
They are, yeah. So if you break down the average human being that you know, most people are following the 7 deadly sins, aren't they?
I mean, you're born in sin, so...
You are born in sin. I agree. That's why I said it's pretty much all of us in general. And there's not one person walking this earth that has not committed one of the 7 deadly sins, if not maybe all of them, all of us. by the time we're an adult.
But aren't all of these emotions?
Yes, yeah, somewhat, but again, it's hard to break down when it comes to them. They are, in essence, emotions. But would you ever say, like, you say, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling happy? I don't know if you would say things like, I'm feeling lust, I'm feeling gluttony, I'm feeling sloth. It's slightly different, in my opinion.
Okay, well, nobody will use that word, but sloth is just the word for lazy.
Exactly.
I'm lazy. You hear it all the time. Wrath. I don't feel wrath, I feel angry. You have anger all the time. Greed. I feel broke, I need more money.
Envy is, I feel jealous.
It's just an emotion. Like, I need enough. Gluttony. Oh, how come he has a car I don't? That's envy. Like, it's all emotion.
Yeah, but it's connected to, like, these 7 deadly sins is basically the things God is said to hate in the book of Proverbs. So I've told you, God or Jesus doesn't hate sin as he hates sin. He's aware that we're all going to commit it. We'll all commit sin. What's that?
I thought the 7 deadly sins was a Catholic thing.
Well,
because when I was in church, I didn't.
Yeah.
The 7 deadly sins. I wasn't raised in Catholicism at all, so we never talked about the 7 deadly sins.
Okay, all right. Maybe it will be, but we can still discuss it with today's society. That clearly these 7 deadly sins, whoever is behind them, they are legit, aren't they? They are legit, especially now, probably more than ever in our lifetime. I don't know, 100 years ago, again, we don't know, but there's just pride, greed, lust, like instant gratification. It's just all over. Anyway, let's just get back to the point before I go, because I need to call Kenya, and of course I've got to pay attention to warning bot, who's telling me to end the stream. But so, do you think we're going to see soon where, like, every week it's going to be an athlete dropping dead, and it's just going to be the norm? Do you think we're going to start seeing people drop dead in streets, where it's like, oh no, look, there's another one gone? Isn't it amazing how the human brain adapts? Like, when it sees something over and over again, it becomes normal, yeah? For a lot of people, the brain just accepts it as, okay, this is the new reality, the new norm. We adapt to it. We've shown that with coronavirus, how easy we adapt to a new environment, a new situation that's dramatic. Do you think we're going to get to that point where you walk in the streets and they're dropping dead?
That's a great question.
Because I do. I think you're going to be out and there's going to be people in your local Costco dropping dead. There's going to be people at the beach dropping dead, and ambulance is going to come. It's like, oh, there's another one. It's going to be literally like a movie. I don't want it to be a point where it becomes so normal that people just accept it and not question it.
Did I send you those articles about how they're trying to get it normalized last year?
Well, you showed me all the articles of the young athletes going and dropping dead.
No. So long story short, the article basically said, because of global warming is going to be a result of more people having heart attacks.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that. You mentioned global warming. Yeah, you did.
But to us, that doesn't make sense, because old people, quote unquote old people, they move to the south where it's hotter regardless, and they haven't been dropping dead. So now they're making it seem it's going to be hotter, and they're just going to start dropping dead. Same thing they did with what they're talking about children now, or babies. Same thing.
Yeah, no.
Now, they're making it normalize that because of the weather is not going to be the reason.
Listen, I think what Satan does, let me just speak my piece here. I think what Satan does and his minions do all they can to hide God from us. And I know you're going to say which God and all that, but hear me out.
Oh, well, I was going to let you go.
And if this is deeply biblical, because obviously I truly have studied the book of Revelation. I've read it, I don't know how many times now. I've lost count. And the Bible, that this is what's going to go down in end times. A quarter of the world taken out, gone, and just quickly. So if that does play out and it's biblical, wouldn't they want the whole world to think it was the you-know-what that's doing it, or global warming? They'd want you to believe anything other than what it probably is, revelation. So they'll be happy for you to say it's this. I don't think it's this. And a lot of people in the chat think it's that. I think that is something that they've used to then, when people do start dropping, because it's biblical, they can obviously say, well, it was that. But how are you going to justify it when a lot of people who go never got it? Like, for example, someone like me never got it, never took it. And if I go young, really fit lad, you can't say it's because of that. But people might say, well, maybe he got it and he just didn't want to tell people. That's what's going to go on. So they're going to justify mass death and say, well, yeah, I think it may have been that, but it won't be that. It's always deeper than what you think. Again, if, I can't really say what I want to say, if these evil people wanted to take out the world, they wanted to kill us all, and they had that power, why are we still here? Why are we still here? Why didn't they pull out COVID in 2008? They could have. Why did it have to be that specific date? Why? If they have all this power and they hate the world and they want to kill us all and they see us as cockroaches, why are we here? I'm not having that they're going to use that as an excuse of that everyone's got the you-know-what and then they're just going to drop because their heart stops because of the you-know-what. No. Revelation, people will drop dead out of nowhere because that's the fourth horseman. And he's got permission to take a quarter of us out. I don't know who he takes out. I don't know how it works, what it's connected to. If it's random, if it's your numbers, I don't know. If it's your beliefs in God, I don't know. But I think it's far too easy to say it's because of the you-know-what when people all start dropping, these young people. It would make more sense, all these young people dropping dead, if it was biblical, because death doesn't care about your age. Doesn't care about your age. So people going blah, 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 and all of that. But again, if the majority are going to say one thing, the majority is nearly always wrong in the system, because the majority of the system and society is so dumbed down and indoctrinated. So if the majority of society thinks it's got to be this, it's not. It's not. So I don't know. It's hard, Durrell. Where do you stand on that? Do you think this 24-year-old, if he does die, it's all because he got the you-know-what?
I'm just here for the ride at this point. You already know how I feel.
No, I know. Yeah, I know who you are and your outlook on life, but
from this situation, it's what? All right. Basically, it's a game, right? So it's a game.
What, life? Life. 100%. I think we can all agree life is a game, and some play it better than others.
Okay, so life is a game, right? And the almighty power knows when you're going to die, how you're going to die, and everything.
Knows everything. Well, the almighty, God knows everything. Knows everything.
Well, yeah, that's right. Okay. So if the name of the game is live your life, not to even worry about anything because it's already written, that means your destiny is already written. So if your destiny is already written, that means the end was already written. If the end's already written, that already means the game plan for how everything is supposed to unfold is already written. So that means that's why they didn't do it in 08, because it wasn't written for it to be done in 08.
Yep.
Remember, they don't control these things. They're already going by God's plan, because God said this is going to happen. So if God's already designed for all the death and destruction to happen, it's going to happen.
It can't be stopped. But in the Bible, in the book of Revelation, it never says anyway when. It just said it will happen. It's written in the book. It will happen. It doesn't give you a date. Doesn't say 2023. Doesn't give you a date. But wait, what's that screeching? You're getting attacked by a demon?
That's you. You're squeaking, not me.
How?
I don't know. Maybe it's that guy in the chat. I don't know.
All right, listen. I'm saying the book of Revelation gives us warnings for the end times, right?
Yeah, it does. Yep.
Death, war, pandemics, society collapsing, false prophets. So civil war, what?
I said, sounds like World War I and World War II to me.
Yes, somewhat. But again, it seems like the Bible focuses so heavily on 3. The Bible's so connected to 3, and we've only had 2 world wars.
There's a pandemic during World War I, right? So there's a pandemic, right?
Yeah. Well, Spanish flu that they pulled.
Yep. So there's a pandemic, right? You got your pandemic of Spanish flu.
Yep.
You got your war in World War I.
Yep.
You also had your famine during that time also. Because
you always have famine during wars, though. It's part and parcel of it.
So that's my thing. So you have boom, boom, boom. You have all 3. World War I, World War II. God, dog. World War. We have technically we're in another war because we already have famine going on in Africa and worse than it's ever been. You have all these farms in America. Yeah, I'm just here at this point. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yep, I'm just ready. Let's go. Let's go out.
World War III. If you study history, World War III is happening this year. It's happening this year, and it's pretty blatant. And they've warned us.
I'm already talking to my military buddies. It's gonna be one heck of a ride.
Yeah, and people just dismiss it. No, there's not going to be a war during my lifetime. We've been programmed to believe that as well. So
I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen in the States. I'm just waiting for it at this point.
The States is going to absolutely collapse, and so is England. And again, I said it about, I don't know how long ago I said that in the next few years, England and the US is going to completely collapse. And they are.
Well, I don't think we'll collapse. I'm pretty sure we'll just be, well, yeah, we will. But it'll be like, what was that movie? It'll be like,
what, Scary Movie? Scary Movie?
No, it'll be like Man in High Castle.
Oh, yeah. But again, I have no fear of any of this. I have no fear of war, of this famine. I have such faith in where the world's going to go. I love the idea of Revelation in the end times, and it scares a lot of people. I'm thriving on it. I'm ready for war somewhat. Not so much going out in Afghanistan with a gun on. I'm ready for a spiritual warfare. Anyone wants to come and attack me, come for me. I'm wearing God's armor.
Wait, so you believe in a rapture or no?
Don't want to get too deep into the rapture.
No. It's just yes or no. We don't gotta get deep in it. It's just
well, basically, where the so-called chosen ones or the believers basically go to heaven, and then everyone else stays on earth.
That's it. Yeah, the very basic one, the very black and white what people mainly go with.
I believe you're either going to join God in the new kingdom of heaven, which will never be infiltrated, or you're going to burn in the lake of fire. I don't think there's an in-between.
Well, thank goodness I have my gasoline jaws ready, because I already know where I'm going.
And I think good people, good, nice people can quite easily go to hell. It's not just your serial killers, your murderers. Well, you don't get put into heaven for good deeds. You get put in there for your faith. It's not for good deeds. It's not from opening a door for an old lady or giving up your seat to somebody or buying somebody a gift they really wanted. That's not how you judge. Judgment comes down to your faith. Like, in my opinion, again, I don't know this. None of us do. How I see it is I have no fear. I'm not in love with the world. I believe that God is the Almighty, that if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even be having this chat now. And I think he's in complete control. I think he created the devil, and that God is limitless and the devil's limited, but he has a certain say. But again, the ultimate is God. So if I believe in him, if I believe this is the end times for me, which I do, and I've told you I love my life, I have a wonderful life. I don't want it to end. I hope I'm wrong. I truly do. And I'm not going to be like proud of myself if there is mass death and energy crisis and World War III, because I know most people are just going to say it's inevitable. Of course that was going to happen. That is most people. It's inevitable. Good job calling something we all knew were going to happen. Mate, 3 months ago you said I was crazy for saying this was going to happen. It's funny how people's brains work.
But the rest of the stuff is.
If this is the end times and I truly am willing to die for my faith, that's where I want to be. And I am. That's why I say what I say and I speak with conviction. I don't have fear. You know how many people have emailed me and said, be careful? A lot of people are going to come for you, you're revealing too much. I ain't bothered. I've said all of that. I think when you truly believe in God, you don't have fear. I don't fear war. I don't fear famine. I don't fear this, that, and the other. I don't fear just randomly dropping dead. I don't, because I'll never die. Darrell, do you believe in that? You believe in reincarnation, don't you?
Of course.
So why fear death if you're gonna keep coming back? In your opinion, what's this to fear?
I can't speak for everybody, but I don't think anybody's really scared of death. I think they're just scared of how it's going to happen.
Oh, no, I think loads of people fear death. Fear it. I did. I can speak from personal perspective. My biggest fear was dying and getting old. They were my two fears. Yeah, but when you're a little bit younger, the idea of like, I don't know if it's because I was athletic, the idea of me losing my athletic ability and getting old and decrepit and not being able to do what I once were able to do used to scare me. I don't fear that anymore. I'd happily just read a book now. As long as my mind is sane, the physical stuff, which I put too much emphasis on, although you've got to be grateful for being able to walk, run, and exercise and be high level at sport. But as long as my mind is sane and my faith's there, I don't worry about getting old now or like girls obsessing over losing their looks or gaining a bit of weight. Like, there's bigger things than that, man. It's the spirit. The spirit is the purest thing that we possess. All the other shit that we're surrounded by, just got next to no interest in it anymore. Just want to be around people who make me laugh, who teach me a lesson every day, who have positive energy, and just have enough money to be fine. I just got no interest in all the other things that the most of the world want. And that's because, well, the Western world. But that's because the way they've been programmed, the way I was once programmed not long ago. So somebody's saying the two gods, Satan who deceives us and plays the part of God and the real God. What do you think of that? You're going to go off on your 1,057 gods now, aren't you? And goddesses and demigods. So because you got so much knowledge of mythology and all of that, it would be a great example, opportunity for you.
I'll say this. It's pretty black and white, even with all the different gods and goddesses. They're always going to be good and evil, right?
Yes.
You're always going to have wrong, dark, and right. You're always going to have multiples that you can break down. Perfect example. All right. Very simple. When we talk about Horus, and I talk about Set, then you have that's basically devil. And you have Jesus. That's basically those two right there. Even though they're brothers. But what they just said about the what was that? The devil what?
It's basically saying there's two gods. There's Satan and then the real God, the one who basically created Satan. The creator versus the creation. So he thinks there's two gods, and then you can ultimately at the end you're gonna pick a side, and most people will pick Satan because they're in love with the world and they don't have faith in actual God. They'll in this case, Satan, the side they'll pick is not so much Satan, but it's like they'll shake the hand with the devil. They will pick this system, this society, this world because they're in love with it, and they fear the fear that this is it. This is their only life. That's why they push YOLO, you only live once. So if you was in the mindset of you only live once, and somebody gave you the choice of, do you want to believe in God, where who knows what's going to happen? Or you can just say right now, no, I'm going to stay here. I want to stay with my family. I've got my job. I've got my house. I've got my security. I want to be here. I want to be of the world. Most people are going to choose that who don't have faith in God. If they give me that option, I say right now, I believe in God. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Is this the end of my road here? All right, let's go. I won't fear it. I wouldn't be like, oh, maybe that's the end of me. I know it ain't the end of me in my soul, my spirit, which is just so strong. So what would you do in that situation?
I mean, if I get to end it, you already know where I'm going.
Yeah, you take yeah, I know. But
I'll take the bus. Are we done with this? I'm done. I'm ready to reset.
right, somebody here is saying, forgot to mention 77th anniversary of the end of World War II. 7 rings of Saturn. Tom Brady remains with 7 rings. You mentioned 7 deadly sins. Yeah, Brady, 73 in the Bible is monumentally huge. I said at the beginning of the season, I know all the riddle for Brady. I gave you all the riddle for Brady. I think 73 is huge. 73 and 37 in the Bible, when you understand it and you code the Bible, possibly the 2 biggest numbers. Yeah, you'll say 666. But you know 666 is only mentioned once. Like the whole thing about 666 being the number of the beast. It's not something they keep referring to throughout the book of Revelation. It's Revelation 13:18. That's basically it, where they reveal that the number of the beast is 666. But like number 77 is big. Number 7, number 3. What are the big numbers with the Bible that you just see all over the place? 7's the number most connected to God. 6 with the devil. 3 with the Holy Trinity.
I never understood the whole thing with 6 and the devil. I never understood that.
Well, it's because he's one step behind God, who's 7. 6 times 7's 42, like the beast reigns for 42 months. 4 plus 2 is 6. The number. Do you know why the number of the man is 666? Don't you?
No, why?
Because every human being is made up of 23 chromosomes from their father and 23 from the mother, and 2/3 is 66.6%. So the number of the beast is connected to the chromosomes, and number of the beast is the number of the man. And God created man on the 6th day, didn't he? And why do you think the devil hates man? Why? Because it's God's greatest creation. So he wants to destroy it. He wants to turn men into women. He wants to create artificial intelligence to replace humanity. He wants us dead, Satan. He hates us. Because God cast Lucifer out of heaven like a lightning bolt, didn't he? Luke 10:18, and brought him here, brought him to earth. And because of his pride, because he wanted to be on God's level. And he got sent down here with 33.3% of the angels, which means 66.6% are in heaven. So it maybe isn't as bad as we think, that number. Well, if you think, if 33.3% of the angels came with Lucifer, that leaves 66.6% in heaven, doesn't it? So it does. Like, if you do the math, that's what they tell us, that's what it is. So again, if 666 is the number of a man, does that make man evil? But we're made of carbon, obviously connects to fire. We're made up of carbon.
We're definitely carbon-based life forms.
That's what I'm saying. Carbon connects to fire. So in fire, you think of hell and wrath. But again, we're all going to be ultimately judged, and I don't let that worry me. I believe in Judgment Day. I think we'll all be ultimately judged, but not like you would be at school where you get an A- or C+. Keep up the good work. Like, I think we'll be judged for our faith, not so much if we smoke or drank or if we had unprotected sex. You'll be judged for your faith But there'll be warnings towards the end that basically say, hey, this is what's happening. All right? I do believe in the return of Jesus Christ, and we'll be warned of it, and people will just laugh it off. Look what they do with my work. Look what I've revealed, and the level that I'm at, and the hit rate that I'm at, and the predictions that I've made still gets laughed off by most people. Just like if they said Jesus were coming back and they made it so blatant, it would still get laughed off. It'll still get laughed off by most people. That's the reality. And I'm aware of that. And again, in the Bible, it says only the minority will be the true believers. And it'll be a tiny amount.
There's so many stories about that person. I don't even know anymore.
I think we'll find out soon enough. Do you think we're living through the end times or not?
You want my honest opinion?
I always want your honest opinion. That's one of the things I love about you.
I've been waiting for it for a long time.
Yeah, because your knowledge, you've been on this now for how long? Like, I never questioned any of this stuff. I was just a normal lad who just went about his way. I would never, ever consider the thought of the end times. I didn't even know what it meant. So, how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
34.
All right, you're 34, so we're similar in age because I'm 36, 666, the 36 triangular number. I want to become 37, by the way. I want to get to that 37. It's April the 14th.
Plus, I always knew I'd probably never make it to 65, so that kind of helped.
All right. So you're 34. When did you get all this intense knowledge of gods and like your knowledge is off the charts, mate? I think you should have a channel on YouTube, to be honest with you. But you're not really into that, are you? Like the whole thing with that. So you're 34. At what point did you like have this knowledge that the majority of the world doesn't have? Like, that's the reality.
It started. Well, I've always loved history.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
History, it's a wrap after that. You start going down rabbit holes. But the journey, the true journey, started in 2008. This is when my true journey started in 2003.
Okay, so 14 years ago. So you were 20. Wow, that is so young. When I was 20, I was just partying, thinking I was going to be a footballer. Like 20, nah. I was so in love with the world at 20. When it came to history, again at school, I was just good at practically every subject, but I didn't have any enjoyment in history. I didn't enjoy it. Teaching you about World War I, World War II, the Roman Empire, I had no interest in it. But you went out of your way to study content that they never taught. How?
Well, I had a very religious grandmother.
So it was your grandmother that guided you towards...
I wouldn't say guided. I wouldn't say guided.
Forced you to look into it?
Pretty much. Like, that's why I'm not really heavy into, biblical things.
Because it was in this world, when something gets forced upon you, it puts you off almost. That's why I won't go pound pavement and get in someone's face and give them a gematria code. I won't do it. It's got to be organic. It's got to be somewhat organic. So you're 20, you're looking at history. If you remember, obviously we're going back 14 years. What are you typing into Google, or are you heading into libraries back then? Maybe 14 years ago, you're going to libraries instead of the internet.
No. I was Googling everything.
What were you Googling?
Well, first we have to ask, why did the journey start here? What was the pivotal moment? I can't even say that. Let me rephrase that. September 11th, 2001. That's when I knew the world was not.
Yeah, that was my first moment of. So when was that? 2001, yeah. So I was 15. Yeah. So I was 15. You were 13. Because obviously I'm 2 years older than you. That was the first time, and I'm not going to act like I had an awakening, not even close. But I remember coming back. I always tell this story. I came back from my school. It was middle school at the time, I think. It could have been high school. It's a bit weird with how it works in England. High school. So I was in high school then. Yeah, I was in 10th grade. for another 10. So I've come back, and I remember I'd always go in, hi, Mum. And I saw her crying. And obviously, when you see a loved one crying, you're like, what? So I thought someone died, because my mum's a really strong woman. So is my dad. They don't just cry. And then I said, I said, what are you watching? She went, Adam, 9/11. I was like, what? She went, Adam, Twin Towers just came down, terrorist attack. And I'm like, what? I said, no, that's a movie. That's not real. That looks like a movie. And she's like, Adam, it's not a movie. Now sit down and listen. And just seeing what that did to my mum's English. She did go to the US. She ran the Boston Marathon. I'm sure she went a few other places. But she was crying like one of her family members died. And it's amazing, isn't it? Like how that works. Like that, why that was such a huge deal. If a building came down in Afghanistan, 9/11, 2001, and it killed 3,000 Afghans, and it was on the news, do you think my mum would have been crying? But she was crying, wasn't she? Because it felt close to home. Like, could this happen in England? Why I don't feel safe anymore. And that's the reality. That's how sad it is. If that took place in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and it was on the news that explosion, 5,000 Afghans dead, she wouldn't have even acknowledged it. And why is that? Is it because I said it hit close to home? It hit close to home because, geez, this is the US, the safest country in the world. What do you think made her cry? The way that the media reported it? What was it? What do you think it was that made her cry?
From the stories I've heard, at least mainly from first world countries, mainly, a lot of them felt like you said, like it could have happened here.
Yeah, I think it is.
You're chilling, it's air travel, and it happened. It's baffling to the mind that something like that would happen.
Yeah, like I said, supposedly the safest country in the world, and that happens. Again, there's no point getting into who was behind it. If you have any brain, it wasn't what they told us. But again, yeah, it is that, innit? It's geez, the world's not safe. That's when they started increasing surveillance, which was all by design, by the way.
Oh, man, it went on. Excuse me. That's how I knew everything was running downhill, because we all got out of school early that day.
Yeah.
I remember it was yesterday. I was in Spanish. My teacher comes into the classroom saying, all right, everybody go home. And we're kind of like we don't know what happened. We're like, okay, cool. We're going home early, but we don't know why. I get home.
Yeah, as a kid, you're happy to go home early. Obviously, there's an 8-hour time difference, so I was just getting home because of the time difference.
Yeah, so we got sent home early. My grandma's watching TV. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, Twin Towers got hit. We're watching it. And the next day in the paper, there's a demon face coming from the house.
Yeah, did you see that? How does that get ignored?
It didn't. Well,
it looked like Baal.
I don't know.
It looked like Baal, mate. That face looked like Baal, in my opinion.
You know what? All I know is that's the first thing I seen, and I circled it. I was like, Granny, I'm like, this looks like a demon face.
What did she say? Did she acknowledge it?
No, she agreed. She was like, it does. And I was like, okay. So then, of course, blah, 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 things unfold, blah, 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 blah. 2008, 7 years later, 2008 hits.
Well, that was the economic crash, wasn't it?
Yeah.
7 years after, of course, 7.
Yep, 7 years after, Obama's president. Jay-Z comes out with the
Blueprint. Oh, that was 2001. Do you know Jay-Z's most successful album was Blueprint, and he released it 9/11, 2001, and Blueprint means a master plan?
Yeah.
So you've got Jay-Z releasing Blueprint the day of 9/11, and a blueprint is basically a master plan. It's like, isn't that enough for people? And it was his most successful album. Or at least that's what they tell you, because they lie about the numbers of sales. Whoever they put number one, they want there. They want them there.
I was going to say, in the community, people speak of people
What happened in 2008?
What was it? Was it the Black in 2008? Hang on, 2008 Jay-Z album. It was. Well, what did I? What was it?
My favorite Jay-Z line. My favorite Jay-Z line is, you know the type, loud as a motorbike, who wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. That's like I'll always remember that and go, that is bang on. You know the type, as loud as a motorbike. So you know the type with big mouths, act all hard, but when it came to it, they do nothing. They wouldn't bust a grape in a food fight. And I listened to that thinking, wow, those lyrics are powerful. I know Jay-Z's a demon. I don't know, but I believe it's a demon and a genetic female married to a bloke, Beyonce. If I were a boy, you are. But anyway, I'm going off topic here. What's this 2008 album with Jay-Z?
Actually, it wasn't 2008. His album was in 2009, and it was
Blueprint. Somebody said it's Blueprint 3. Was it Blueprint 3?
Yep, Blueprint 3. Yep.
So another 3.
An album cover.
Say that again.
He had 3 red stripes on the album cover.
Wow. What, like 3 world wars? Red's connected to war and bloodshed.
Well, you're gonna love this. You're actually gonna love this. This is what got me right here. The video. Once that video happened, this was during the time of hip hop sacrifices started going through the music community. Like everybody watched this video. Like it was circulating like crazy on the internet, right? You cannot find that video today. I tried to look for it 2 years ago.
Oh, they're taking down videos left, right, and center. I was trying to find a video about a guy who went through his whole transformation from a guy to female. I watched the whole thing. It was a documentary. YouTube have taken it down. It's gone. I wanted to share it. It's gone.
Every on to the next one breakdown of the video is gone. That's when it was just all 1,000% satanic. Like
so
every symbolism you can think of was in that video, and you can no longer find those breakdowns. They are gone.
I'll tell you when people are gone, when they don't question Lil Nas X giving a lap dance to Satan in a recent video. That's when you know the world's gone.
Yeah, that was.
No, it's gone. Like it's completely. Just people dismiss it or find it entertaining that you've got a little demon who sold satanic shoes with blood in the sole for $1,018 for Luke 10:18 and sold 666 pairs. He gives a lap dance to Satan. Nike is the goddess of victory. Nobody cares. Don't question it. Laugh it off. It's entertaining. Not aware of the numbers. Of course, they don't know what 10:18 is unless you've read the Bible. You won't go, why is it 1,018? Why is it not 1,020? Or why is it not just a grand on the nose? Again, that's why you need to learn the knowledge, not you, to see through it all and just see the release dates of these albums, the date of these finals, the date these celebrities are dying. It's absolutely scandalous. Like Foo Fighters released that movie Studio 666, which was about demons and becoming demonically possessed. And then shortly after, the drummer dies. Again, did he die? If so, he got taken out by the code. If he's not died, why are they doing this to us? Is it just for energy? Again, they literally bring out a movie, Studio 666. Come on. The Foo Fighters, FF gets you 66, isn't it? 6 letter of the alphabet. Book of Revelations, the 66th book of the Bible. And the final one. It's the final book because it's the end times. It's the final book. And I see 66s every day with my code. It's why Messi won the World Cup 6 months and 6 days before he turns 36, and 6 times 6 is 36. 666 is the 36 triangular number. Final 13 days left in the year, 6 prime. 13 World Cup goals, 6 prime. 13 is so connected to Judas, the 13th disciple, to Nimrod. It's such a big number and it connects to 6 because it's the 6 prime. So it's just baffling. And like you said, this guy who's gone down, drafted round 6. LeBron wears 6 for the Lakers, doesn't he? He wore 23, which 2 times 3 is 6. Telling you that these people are being used whether they're aware of it or not, to fulfill revelation. Your LeBron Jameses and stuff like that. Their numbers are just insane. They're just insane. They all have the same code, these stop stars. They all have the same code. These numbers have to be something so deep. And it might be the way God communicates with you. That's why I try and teach people these numbers. The numbers led me to God. I know we don't have to get into it. The numbers led me to God. Without my knowledge of the numbers, I don't think I would have found God. I think it was the only way for me to actually believe. I couldn't just pick up a book with all these stories, which were just like somebody just made up, pissed out their head. A lot of them, if you actually break it down as a normie, like Noah's Ark and like walking on water. If you actually break it down as a non-believer, you can almost laugh, can't you? Like a child wrote that. But when you have faith and you understand the numbers and you realize God can perform miracles, created a universe, for crying out loud, you become more open. And I say this all the time. I believed in Satan before I believed in God. Not as a Satanist. When I started thinking the world was really shit, 2020, when I was writing my book, The Illusion, and seeing how disgusting and toxic society really is from top to bottom, I was like, there must be a devil. There's got to be a devil. They've got to be worshipping somehow, or something's got to be behind this. Can't just be guys who are just bad people who hate the rest of us. It's got to be deeper. And then I found God through that, through believing in the devil. We all have a different story with it all, but my family never pushed me into it. They're not religious in the slightest, to be honest. Nobody ever really pushed me into it. Even when I worked in that Catholic school, because practically every school in Mexico is a Catholic school, they a little bit tried to get me, hey, do you want to go to mass and all of that? I was like, no, thank you. I still wouldn't go to mass, to be honest. I still wouldn't go to mass. I don't think you need to go to a church to get close to God, especially now the churches are being deeply infiltrated by the devil, which again tells you in the book of Revelation, he will infiltrate the church. And he has. That's why you get all these pastors now, like millionaires, preaching the word of God and getting paid millions of dollars and all of that. That should not be the case. So somebody's saying Ken Block, 11/21/1967. This is Rock for Ages. Was born 26 weeks exactly after the Cincinnati Bengals were founded. Wow. Queen was coronated on 2/6 or 6/2. Yeah, which can be written 2/6. She was born in 26. She became the queen in the 26th year of her life because she was 25. The World Cup final was 101 days after she died, the 26th prime. Her mum died at 101. She died 2 months and 6 days before King Charles turned. How old did he just turn? 74. So, sorry, I've just joined, but I have to mention T. Higgins, the one who collided, time between their birth. What? Like, this is not my find, everybody. I need to check this for myself. Durrell, I'm going to have to go in about 5 minutes. I said I'd call Kenya, but you're always amazing. When we do these calls, it's kind of random, innit? So, did this guy run into T. Higgins or something? He's a wide receiver, so that makes sense.
You talking about for the tackle?
Yeah, was it? Yeah, it was. It was Higgins. So, yeah, let me look into him. Somebody's just given me something here, which is simply mind-blowing. And I'm guessing he's right. He won't come into a chat and just say this. So for all of you out there, this is not me. This is a guy called Chris C. I just turned into Snoop Dogg then. Yo, this is not me. This is Chris C. He's talking about the player who just had a cardiac arrest who wears number 3. Go on, finish me off. Go on, Durrell. Right, that sounds wrong. Finish me off. Anyway, let's go back to this. Just joined, but have you mentioned T. Higgins, the one who collided time between their birthdays, 666 days. So you've got the guy was born, T. Higgins was born 118, which I keep talking about 118 all the time, how it connects to 88. I did a live today talking about 118. He was born January the 18th, 1999. Flip those 9s for me, baby. Flip those 9s. 666. Right, and then that's 666. Bye bye. And then we have, where is he? Got it.
Hamlin's alive still.
Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know.
No, I mean like they just, well, quote unquote, they just updated his status.
What's saying he's alive?
Well, no, they're saying his vitals are back to normal.
Wait, no, this is really big. If we're talking about big biblical stuff, let's be serious now, right? If this guy has just had a cardiac arrest after hitting his opponent player, right? So you've got 1/18/1999, and this guy was born March the 24th, 1998. He's telling me, wait, this is, mate, it's a span of exactly 43 weeks. What were you saying about 43? With that rally driver?
No, the Bronx was 23.
All right, well, like Chris, where do you get... Let me just check with Chris. Where do you get the 666 days for? It's telling me this guy was born 1999, not 2000. Oh, you're talking about an extra calendar year? I don't really do that. So you're saying what, when he was... Let me check what he's trying to say here. Yeah, it's 666 days if you do it that way. But, you know, I always talk about 144, Darrell. Like, that's my birthday, 144,000 Jews are sealed, 1,440 minutes in a day. Well, this guy who's gone down with a cardiac arrest, he was born 144 dating emoji pure. That number's enormous, 144. It's enormous. And I have the blessing of being born on that day. But for me, like with the actual birth dates, this guy was born exactly 43 weeks before the guy who basically hit him. And you were talking about 43. That driver who died in a ski accident, his car number was 43. You said LeBron James just got 43 points, who often gets referred to as a beast. They always say he's a beast. LeBron James, a beast. Beast on the court. So, yeah, the illusion does. My name, the illusion, well, not my name, not my birth name. The illusion is 144. Completely organic because I had that name before I found Gematria. Showing you the organic syncs to this code because there is. I have all my organic syncs to 11. It seems Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson do as well. We all have numbers connected to us. We've just not been aware of it or question what they actually represent. So, yeah. Right. Have you got anything else, Darrell? Like, this was just, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have done this live stream. I wouldn't even know this guy. Well, I probably would have known because I would have checked the score because I coded the game.
Yesterday, I don't know if you know, but Fred White died yesterday at the age of 67.
Again, that's 67's 6 times 7's 42. 67's connected to the book of Revelation. So,
Born in Chicago, 1955.
The year of Bill Gates and my dad.
He was the drummer for Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Don't know who they are, but what I can hear the word fire.
Sir, hold on.
I don't lie, bro. I've never heard of them. Who are they? They sound. Go on. Who are they?
You know the word Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Sing.
I'm not too out of my can't sing. I'll do this. I'll do this.
Tell me the most famous song. What's the name of it?
They have like 10,000 hits.
Well, come on. Tell me one.
All right, maybe I'll go with something. Excuse me. Do you know? That's a famous song.
Come on. You say you got a 10,000 hits. Give me one.
There's too many hits.
You're sounding like Zach Hubbard, who says I'm a compulsive liar, and I said name one lie that I've told, and he couldn't. Now you said I got 10,000 hits. Give me one.
Let's groove. I just said one.
Next groove.
Let's groove. Or the better one is September. In September.
Oh wow! Somebody give this guy a record label, and it's what?
I don't like you right now.
What they called? What Earth? What Earth, Wind, and Fire. So we're talking about the elements, well, not all of them. All right. So wait, I think it's like, do you remember the 21st night of September?
Yes, that's the song.
Okay, and then yeah. Buddy, say, do you remember? Oh, mate, why didn't you tell me that? Like, I don't know. I felt like I never heard of them. If you would have just gone, listen, Illusion, it's Buddy, say, do you remember? I go, yeah, I've heard that song multiple times. Classic. So what about them? The lead singer died?
No, the original member, that was a drummer.
All right, and when did he die?
Yesterday.
Wow.
The first of the year.
The problem is when somebody over 60 dies, people go, it happens all the time. If a 24-year-old athlete goes down with a cardiac arrest, it shocks people more. Someone in the mid-60s who dies, yeah, it was a rock star. He was probably drinking every night. Of course, he's going to drop dead. Nobody really cares when you... That's why me predicting the Queen's death. Next to nobody cared because they just said she's 96. Which is sad. Well, it's legit. If I would have called like a 23-year-old and say, listen, this 23-year-old's going to go at 25, it would have inspired a lot more people, wouldn't it? Or if I would have said Cristiano Ronaldo's going to die at age 40 whilst he was 38, people would go, wow, wait, did you see this guy who called Ronaldo's death at 40? When you say the Queen's going to die at 96 when she's 94, they just say she was an old, fragile woman. So it didn't get enough recognition for what I actually did with the code, but it's understandable as well. I can see why people say, good job, you called a woman in her 90s to die. Good job, Illusion. I can see the humor behind the mockery of me doing that. But again, just these young people just dropping dead, man. It's not right. It ain't right. It used to be like one in a blue moon where it would happen. Just some freak incident. It's like every other week. Like you're getting it even like in local football games, local newspapers. Sunday league player drops dead on the field. It's like, geez, little league baseball pitcher drops dead in the second inning. It's like, what? I don't remember ever reading these headlines. To be honest, I just don't. But again, what time are we on? 9:54. I better give Kenya a call. She sent me so many messages and yeah, don't know. I feel like I'm. Yeah, well, pleasure, mate. Thanks for everything, and yeah, let's see. Let's hope this guy survives. Again, I've got nothing. Like, I don't know these people. I don't know how it all works, but I never wish death on anybody. I hope he's all right, whether it happened or not. You know what I mean? But we'll find out, won't we? We'll find out. We'll look back on this. If somehow the Bills or Brady win this, you can look back to this and say, well, pretty blatant. And didn't the Bucs begin? The Bucs began the NFL season last season on 9-9 because it's 99 days before the Pope's birthday is 9-9. Yeah, the Bucs beat Dallas, and then this year on 9-9, the defending champions, the Rams. But this seems pretty obvious. Just confirm this for me before I go. Is the opening game of the NFL season always involving the previous Super Bowl winner? Against?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that's why the Rams opened against the Bills then. I've told you that Super Bowl 56 was all about the Queen, and the Bills are connected to the Queen. That's why I predicted they would go 10-3 this season, and they did. They went 10-3 at 27th prime. Yeah, this is wild. It's wild time to be alive, in it, but exciting at the same time. You know what I mean? It's wild, but it's somewhat exciting. You just don't know what's next. It's like a great movie, but a movie that can scare you time to time. Like, geez, what? Where did that come from? It ain't boring, put it that way at the moment. Living within this world, it's certainly not boring. It's eventful. More stuff have happened, honestly, I feel, in the last 2 years than the other 34 years of my life. Just seems like every day there's something major happening. But it's, like I said, as a human, the human brain adapts, doesn't it? So you get, choice or it dies. Yeah. Again, that is so true. You either adapt or you die. You adapt to your environment, to your situation. The human brain, its greatest gift, arguably, is adaptability, isn't it? Sink or swim moments. More often than not, it will swim for you. But it's got to adapt, and that's what we got to do at this point. So,
agreed.
Yeah, well, listen, mate. I appreciate you. Look at this. Another 43. Breaking news. 2 helicopters collide in Australia, killing 4 people and injuring 3. 43, mate.
Oh, gosh.
You just see how all the codes connected. So 43 is everywhere now. It's a major number. And again, why is 43 so big in 2023? What's 20 plus 23, baby? 43. It's 43. You're going to see 43 galore. And I've told you that's the date they tell us Jesus died. April the 3rd. So that's what they tell us. That's what April the 3rd. So
I'm going to say, are we talking Gregorian calendar? Because you know how that goes.
Well, I've done a video. That's actually my most liked video. I think I've got 450 likes on my calendar video. Did you ever watch that? I destroyed the Gregorian calendar.
No, not at all. It's not hard to destroy the Gregorian calendar considering who created it.
Yeah, Pope Gregory, wasn't it? It was Pope Gregory, head of the Catholic Church.
Well, that and the pagans rejected it.
They did, yeah. Just all you have to do to break down the Gregorian calendar is say, what's 52 divided by 4? And they find out it's 13. You go, why do we have 12 months? Their eyes go big. Simply put, their eyes go big. Give them a bit of basic math, their eyes go big. I've done it. Done it with many people, my calendar presentation. I did it at the school when I was covering, and they went, wow, oh my goodness. I broke down the whole calendar, and I connected it to Kobe Bryant.
Well, doesn't the New Year start in the spring?
I believe April the 1st. That's why we have April Fool's Day.
Yeah, April 1st. Yep, April 1st is the New Year. So, the months go by the number. So October is supposed to be the 8th month.
Yeah, sept means 7. Dec means 10, like a decagon or a decade. Should not be the 12th month.
Yeah, we should only have 4 months.
Yeah, it's just a joke. That's why I call out Christmas. It's just a joke to think that Jesus was born December the 25th. But again, all the 13s. What? I don't know what's happening here, but all the. I believe the New Year should be April the 1st, 4-1. 41's the 13th prime. I believe there's 13 months, like there's 13 zodiac signs, 13 disciples that tell us it's 12. Do you agree that Judas was the 13th disciple?
13 months? Wait a minute.
I believe, 13 months.
Okay, so I've heard 10 months, but I heard the 13th zodiac sign. But the 13th zodiac sign is more new age than old age. But then you can't even do the 12 year. You can't even do the 12 zodiac sign because you know. Never mind. We don't have time to go through a deep dive today.
Oh, don't say deep. Don't say deep dive. You remind me of that bell end who goes, "Welcome back, deep divers." What's his name? He needs a slap.
I don't know what that means.
Well, there's some goon on YouTube who has like millions of subscribers. Like, "Welcome back, deep divers." Oh yeah. Yes, guys, can you feel it? Can you feel it in the air? Yes, deep divers, this is the truth. Let's go. It's like, I'd love to bang that guy out. He's a fraud. Anyone with millions of views on YouTube's a fraud. Deep diver. Deep diver. One of them. Check him out. You'll know what I'm talking about. So when you said deep dive, then you just made my head go a bit, mate.
Okay, we can't go underneath the hood and really see what's going on.
Yeah, that's better. Underneath the hood is better than deep dive, deep divers. Check him out. You'll laugh at my impression. Infinite Waters. Somebody's told me it's called. Mate, do me a favor. Just don't play it now because I'll get done for copyright. But listen to the opening 30 seconds of this Infinite Waters. And I'm pretty certain every time he opens up with "Welcome back, deep divers," and tell me if it made you laugh, and you'll see why it pissed me off that you said deep dive. DD for your 44 as well, like D-Day. All right, cheers, brother. I appreciate you. Much love. Take care. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, deep divers. That's the end of the stream, baby. I have got to respond to a lot of messages. Wow, it's 22:02. Wow, and didn't that guy just have a cardiac arrest 2 months and 22 days before his upcoming 25th birthday? Wow. Jeez Louise, baby. Diving deep, deep divers. Woo! Welcome back, truth seekers, deep divers. Woo! Just, oh man. Yeah, that guy's a joke. He does my head in. If you made me listen to him for like longer than a minute, I'd rather get punched in the head by Tyson. All right. Cheers, guys. This was an unexpected live. I've done like 3 videos today and 2 lives, but I still have a life outside of the lives. Went out for sushi, had a little workout. But guys, let's keep an eye on this now. People are dropping like flies. I obviously wish you all the best, health and happiness, but just keep an eye on this. Let's not easily dismiss all of this. These elite athletes shouldn't be dropping. They should not be having cardiac arrests at that age. I don't think anyone at that age should be, unless they've had serious medical issues, just randomly dropping dead, let alone an elite athlete. So, yeah. Remember, God wins. I know whether you believe me or not, or you're not religious. I hate the term religion, but God wins. Stay strong. Embrace every single day. If negative things happen, it is what it is. You ain't gonna stop it. Again, when somebody dies, you ain't bringing them back. So let's just keep doing what we're doing. All right. Have that passion for revealing deception and what we perceive to be truth. And have a wonderful evening, deep divers. I can't live with that. All right, guys. Much love. I appreciate you all. Thanks for listening. I know you could have been doing anything else in the world right now. You listen to me. Sometimes talk sense, other times just be a complete clown, but it's all banter in it at the end of the day and knowledge. All right, I'm off. I'm going to call Kenya. Cheers. But take me off 74 likes. Take me off 74. I know there's no bad numbers, but just don't leave me on 76 either. Give me a 77. Any chance? I'm not a fan of 74 for whatever reason. I think it's because of the beast. Okay, we'll keep me on 74 then. I guess 74 years is exactly 888 months, isn't it? All right, anyways, take care. Oh, there's your 77. I'll leave on that. God wins. Woo!